Jump scare! Jump scare! Oh my god! Human hands! What the fuck? Hi guys! Welcome to Hand Cam Stream! Whoa! Whoa! How you guys doing? So I forgot I can gesticulate with my hands now. Wow. Human hand jump scare. Guess we all know why we're here. And right as I said that, Jared with the sub, with the membership. Thank you for the 20 gifted memberships, Jared. I appreciate it. Right at the start of stream, eh? Thank you, thank you. But yes, you all know why we're here. You all know why we're here. Oh. 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 Oh, what's that? What is it? What is this object? Hello? Was that gold foil? Oh. Oh, was that? What was that? Books are here! Books are here! Yesterday, a ton and a quarter quantity of books, literally over a ton of printed material on a pallet in my garage was delivered yesterday. And now they are here! Yippee! Yippee! So yes, welcome to the, I might do multiple signing streams. This is at the very least gonna be this one. But yeah, they're here and they're not under the water. They did not fall off the boat. Their shipping container did not fall off the boat on the way here from the printer. But yes, the books are here and they are shiny and they have gold foil and they are pretty, pretty, pretty. And I'm so excited about they. How many will there be? I ordered 2,000. A little over half of those are getting sent out for the Kickstarter. Now, if you guys did not read the pinned message at the top of chat, these books are not available on my store yet. These will be added to my store in January. Okay, January, these will get added to the store. If you want a notification when these are available on the store, go up to the pinned comment up here, and there is a link to sign up for my newsletter. I almost never send out emails unless it's for really important shit, like books getting added to the store. So when the books get added to the store, you can get an email if you sign up for my newsletter in the pinned comment up here. How much is it, and is it in the UK? I will be shipping internationally. I don't know exactly how much shipping will cost. That's automatically calculated by my online store. So just questions about pricing and stuff can wait until the book is out. All right. But yes, so these will be on my shop in January. Right now, I gotta focus on getting all the books printed or books shipped out for the Kickstarter. I have to do Kickstarter fulfillment first, and then I'm taking a vacation for like a month, and then these will be added to the store. The reason I'm not doing anything like pre-orders is because the last time I did pre-orders for books, people who did not understand the concept of pre-orders got snippy and angry at me, and I had to field a bunch of emails. But, do you guys want to look at it? Do we want to do a little, like, sneaky peek before we get into it? So there's my delicious French folds. It's hard to tell. There's a spot gloss on the comic URL down here, and also, I think, on the star up here? Yes. It's a little hard to see. But yeah, so there's our little inside cover. And then we've got, like, this little pattern I made with just, like, objects from the first volume. So we've got like one of Vector's books, we've got Zara's little magic thing, we have Ariana's gem, we have Miss Jacobs' glasses, we have the Wanted poster folded up because Ariana had it, and then we have Frankie's little bag with all his maps in it. R.I.P. to a legend. But yes, so then we just flip through a little dedication page, and we flip. The colors look a little different on my on the stream because my webcam does not like how shiny these colors are. Yeah, they look like way more saturated. I mean, the colors are saturated, but they're not quite as saturated as you're seeing on the stream. But yeah, so the books include the first 4 chapters. Yippee-ki-yay. And then in the back, we have our little bonus lore pages. Wowie, wowie. If you're on the Patreon, I've been releasing I'm going to be releasing high-res versions of those delicious lore pages for every Friday for the next couple of weeks for the duration of the hiatus. So yeah, those are going to go out soon. But yeah, so we're going to be signing these today. I went on an adventure before stream because a couple weeks ago, I bought these silver Sharpies, thinking I could use these to sign my stuff. And these silver Sharpies are shit. And they're like already half dry, it feels like. So like 10 minutes before stream started, I was like, I'm gonna go get new fucking Sharpies. But they didn't have just the silver Sharpies. They had the pack of metallics. So I think just every now and then we'll switch what color Sharpie we're using just to be quirky. I started using the silver and then I was like, but the gold though. But the gold though. So we're just gonna do a little heart, and then I've got like a pad of sticky notes that I am using as a fan. But yeah, just so you guys know, we will absolutely not be getting through the entirety of the books I need to sign for this, because you guys want to guess how many books I have to sign for the, you guys want to guess how many books I have to sign for the Kickstarter? I'll give you a hint. I have to ship 1,200 books. So 1,200 is about the number of books that got purchased in total. How many books do you guys think I have to sign? How many signed books need to happen? Okay, I'm seeing some guesses that are close. The answer is about 750. I have to sign 700 books. So it's gonna take me a bit. I'm not gonna get to all of them on this stream. It's probably going to take me a couple days. I might end up doing like a TikTok live or something tomorrow. But I figured that at the very least, you guys can keep me company for this bit. RIP your hands. I'll be fine. Okay, here. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit of setup over here. I am going to... oh yeah, also, this stream isn't going to involve a lot of me standing up and sitting down and just orping around. Because I've got a big pile of books behind me. And I've got like my boxes and shit, and I'm trying to keep this organized, and we'll see how that goes. You guys, the audio quality on this stream is going to be subpar for roughly half of it, and I just need everyone to be okay and chill with that. I am going to take all of these books out of the box. And then I'm going to put the box. Wow, there's a box. I'm gonna put the box over here, and I'm gonna move all these fucking Sharpies out of the way. And then I'm gonna put the signed books into the box. Wowie zowie, technology is incredible. And now I'm gonna pull the book box over here. Holy shit. Ugh. And now we will continue. I am closer now. Can you guys hear me? What I was saying was the audio quality is going to be a little bit subpar during sections of this stream, and I just need you guys all to be okay with that. Take bets on how soon before a cat shows up to help. The cats are pretty content right now. I don't know where Milo is. But Molly is asleep behind me. She is just here to observe. Yeah, so let me tell you guys, getting the books yesterday was... I mentioned a mild shipping skerfuffle. And it's not that interesting of a story, but these books were delivered yesterday. They were supposed to get here on Monday. They did not get here till Thursday. So what happened was, what are you guys talking about? What? Jump scare? What do you mean jump scare? What does that sound? I don't know. I didn't play anything. I didn't play anything. What do you mean jump scare? I didn't play a sound effect. What are you guys talking about? The noise? I don't know what noise you guys are talking about. What did it sound like? What did it sound? Was it a Zelda sound effect? Oh my god, wait, I think I might know what it was. Was that... Hang on. I don't know what you guys mean with the sound effect. I don't know what the sound effect was! I didn't play anything! I didn't play any sound effects, you guys, I promise! What? Is the stream haunted? What? I didn't play anything! Guys, I genuinely do not know what you guys are talking about. There was no fucking sound. I didn't play anything. I don't know what's going on. The stream is haunted. Stream is haunted. Alright, well, I guess I'll watch the VOD back later and we'll figure out what the hell that was. Because I genuinely don't know. Notification sound, maybe? I don't know what it could have been for, though. I swear I'm not gaslighting you guys. I don't know what it was. I didn't hear anything. Listen, I believe you guys that something probably played, but I don't know what it was or how it happened. I am not gaslighting you. I am genuinely confused. Oh. Jared and Supernova Blade, thank you for the super chats. Jared, what did you do? What did you do? Did you? I put that on the list today! Okay, well, Jared, thank you for buying the desk organizer off my throne wish list. Thank you. If that would make sense because I don't know if I ever adjusted the volume. I just assumed that the throne sound effects would be a reasonable volume. All right, so the stream is haunted and Jared is haunting it. My dude, how often do you check that? I posted that on the list earlier today. Goodness gracious. I mean, thank you. Okay, so apparently the stream now has a jump scare button. It doesn't work on me, it works on everyone in chat though. So if you guys ever want to jump scare chat, apparently the way to do it is to buy stuff off my throne. The Jared giveth and the Jared deafen the chat with throne sound effects. I was seeing if you added the Dave dice I suggested. I haven't yet. I should though. I did get the notification for it, but I was on my phone at the time. Anyone know how to perform stream exorcism? Demons be gone. Be gone, demons. The power of my sticky notes with a bunch of scribbles on them compels you. No demons in my stream. That's how you do an exorcism, right? Streams haunted. Streams haunted. Streams haunted. Does that make me a demon? Yes. Bap, 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 bap. Bap, 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 bap. It's like that meme. Streams haunted. What? Cox shotgun. Streams haunted. I mean, I've told this story on a video before that I used to have sleep paralysis and I used to have like night terrors and shit, and I literally made them stop by telling the demons to fuck off, and then I never had night terrors again. This is a 100% true story, I swear. Well, that was when I lived in Japan. And at the same time, also, my apartment was mildly haunted by a ghost that liked to turn on my my kitchen sink randomly. That one I think may have just been like, that one only happened in winter, so I think maybe it was just like the pipes were bad. But, you know, whatever. Do you guys like my very high-tech method of, like, drawing my signature? You know what I should be doing? You know what I should be using instead, actually? I bought this fan at MomoCon. I bought this fan at MomoCon last year. I should be using the, it's a little unwieldy though. It's a little big. It's a little big. But I had to use that instead. It's some nerd shit. I will use my fancy little fan. I keep forgetting to bust this out during D&D sessions. Yeah, we're drawing in style. Also, it matches the inside of my books. Hell yeah! I gotta post a link to those fans somewhere. I forget the artist. I think this was Supapong who did these. I believe so. 1 second. I can find the URL for the fan if you guys want. I think I know who did these. I think I know the artist for yes. I found. I follow this artist so I remember their username. There's the fan. If y'all want the fan, there it is. Tell them I sent ya. But yes. What am I doing with the sticky notes? I need to be using my cool fan that I literally just posted the link for. That has way better airflow and it hurts my hands less. Okay. I'm getting a bunch of stuff from your online store for Christmas. Super excited. Ah, well, thank you so much. But also, guys, Black Friday kicked my ass. Black Friday kicked my ass, you guys. 1 sec. I was not expecting to get that many sales over Black Friday. I just today finished packing all the orders that I got for Black Friday. I got like 200 orders in 4 days. More than that, maybe. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was just like frantic, and I'm like, it's too many orders. And then I didn't like run low on merch of stuff that I wasn't purposely trying to get rid of. But I did run out of mailers, and then I had to buy more mailers. And then this morning I ran out of sticker paper, And so I had to order more of my sticker paper. And so there's a couple of orders that were made in the last few days that I can't ship yet because I ran out of stickers and my sticker paper's not gonna get here till next week, probably. I want to get a book. Again, the books will be on my website after my vacation. In January, the books will be available on my site, but no sooner. I did consider that, yes, this stream would be a good marketing thing for the books finally going live. On my, is like, yeah, you know, I'm signing the book, and you can get a book for yourself, on this link. That would have been, you know, like, good marketing or whatever. But the thing is, I am planning on, once I'm done with the Kickstarter packing, I'm planning on taking like a month-long vacation and packing a shit ton of books right after packing all the Kickstarter books. Would have been detrimental to that vacation time. And I mean, it's not like the books are going anywhere. The books will be available. I'm not going to run out of books. I ordered 2,000 of them. I genuinely do not think I will be running out of books anytime soon. And at the same time, you know, like when they come out in January, I can advertise them in a video in January, and that'll be way more effective than, you know, having it in a live stream, so. Just your girly pop needs a vacation. And basically, I'm done with my next video. So my December video will be going up next Friday, 1 week from today. And then I'm planning something easy for my January video that I've had scripted for a while. Will the backers get their books before the holidays? Unsure. My goal, hang on. My goal is to have all the books in mailers by the 15th. I cannot guarantee Christmas time shipping though. Almost definitely all books will be sent out before New Year's. But at the very least, they will be on my store in January, so. Again, questions about price and such, I will be able to answer once the books go live on my shop. So, y'all can be patient. I love the enthusiasm, but please be patient. Please and thank you. Also, if you see anybody asking questions about pricing or like repeated questions in the chat, if y'all could help me answer some of those, that would also be helpful because I can't type and I don't want to be answering the same questions the entire stream. All right, that's one box down. And now we're gonna take this box and we're gonna move it. Oh God, it's heavy. And now we're gonna take this box. Take all the books out of it. We're gonna take all the books out of it. We are taking all the books out of this box. My God, you know what would make this easier? You know what would make this easier, chat? Hang on. I need an empty box. I have an empty box in my garage! Woo! Let's go! Box in my garage! And I can use this one! Yippee! I'm gonna label it real quick. With a big S. For signed. Yippee. This is actually a How to Webcomic box, but that I emptied this morning. But it's the same size as all my other ones. So yes. Sorry, that was probably like way too hype for just the realization that I had an empty box in my garage. How does it feel to hold your webcomic in print? Honestly, if I am being entirely honest, I don't know if this is going to be the answer that you guys are looking for. Honestly, at this point, the only emotion I am feeling is a lack of stress. Almost like, it's almost just like completely neutral. Because it's like, I was so stressed about this entire process, basically, that now that relieved, I guess, is a good emotion for it. But even then, there was not like that ha moment. I have not had the ha moment yet. I feel like I will have the ha moment once all the books are in the mail. So, decidedly neutral at this exact moment because, you know, I have the books in my hand. That's good. They didn't fall off the boat. That's good. But I still have to pack and ship all of them, and that's gonna take, like, a while. So I'm still feeling the stress, you know, but... Heebie-jeebies. Honey, what you doing, Kitto Catto? You say volume 1. Yeah, there's gonna be a volume 2. Not this coming year, but probably 2026. Because I need a break. It's because you're scared, but it's kind of sad you're not really excited. It's like, I feel like I am excited. Because it is very cool. But it's just like... So my thing, if we go back a little bit, I should explain maybe why I'm having these emotions a little bit, because there's a bit of lore here. There's a bit of Star lore that I've never really talked about here. I've talked about it, but I don't know if I've gotten too into detail about it. So my first webcomic was my first Kickstarter I ever did. I ran a Kickstarter for it in, I believe, 2012 or 2013. To get like the first, you know, like 4 chapters printed. It was going to be about an 80-page comic volume, and I was super duper excited about it. And I, you know, like I didn't even hit like $1,000 on Kickstarter. I made just enough to print like 50 copies of the book, and that was all I needed, because I only got like 30 backers. So, you know, I was super excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, my book is gonna be in print. This is so cool. This is so exciting. I'm so happy to finally have it in my hands. And those books were bad, chat. Those books were real bad. Like there wasn't any kind of laminate on the cover. And so the spines of the books started flaking immediately. Like the print, the colors were flaking off the books. Just the color quality was bad. This part was on me. But, the books were not done in a resolution that was good for printing. Like the first 2 chapters were drawn in 72 DPI. And they were drawn for like 8.5 by 11 size paper, and I tried to print them at like a 5 by 8 or something. Those books did not print well. And I was traumatized by it a little bit, because, you know, like I was so excited for that. That was like gonna be the thing. I was so excited. And then, you know, all that excitement led up to the books are bad. I was crushed. And so now it's like, yes, I have learned, I have grown, I have conquered. I've gotten much better. This is the 3rd book project that I've printed. I did the original How to Webcomic, which I was stressed out of my mind about. You know the reason why all the illustrations in How to Webcomic are all the same color scheme? It's because I was terrified of printing in color because of that situation. Yeah, like PTSD, basically. It was like, I was so scared that my books weren't gonna look good in print. And even the first edition of How to Webcomic, the colors didn't turn out right. Because like the test prints that I got through them looked perfect. But then the actual run of books, the illustrations turned out way more saturated. You would not be able to tell. Like, the illustrations still look good. They look fine. But if you look at the test copies of the print, and the actual, like, this is what they are supposed to look like, they look very different. The final copies are not bad. They're just very orange when they were supposed to be more of kind of like a light salmon color. And so, you know, you spend like several $1,000s on books, and then for the second time, they don't turn out like they're supposed to. And again, it's not the end of the world. The books look fine, the colors are just off. And then you start thinking, well, if I can't even get this book that's mostly text to look right, how in the hell am I supposed to print my full color webcomic in like full color and have it look nice? And I just had nightmares for literal, I'm not exaggerating here, guys. I have had literal nightmares over like, and not just one, multiple. I would have like one of these every now and again, sometimes multiple nights in a row, where I would have legitimate nightmares that I tried to print my webcomic in print, and they would come out terribly. Like the colors were super duper oversaturated or super duper undersaturated. Just the colors looked bad. The books were printed upside down. The foil was like flaking off the covers. The books fell off the container, fell off the ship on the way to me. I had nightmares like that for 3 years before I printed this book. And so at this point, my main emotion is, thank God. They're here, and they look good, and they didn't fall off the boat, and they weren't accidentally printed in 72 DPI, and they didn't get printed in black and white for some reason. They didn't get printed with like several pages missing. They didn't get printed with just every nightmare you could possibly have about getting a book printed. I have had that nightmare. Every single thing that could have happened, that could have possibly have gone wrong with getting these books printed, I had a nightmare about it. And so at this point, it's like, yeah, I could be, you know, more excited. And I am happy. I am genuinely, like, very happy that they are finally in print, that this thing that I've put years and years of my life into is finally real. It exists as a real physical thing. But I'm tired. It's like, I don't want to compare. This is a dumb thing to compare it to. This is a really dumb thing to compare it to, but it almost feels a little bit like how I've heard people describe postpartum depression. It's like, okay, I feel like I should be feeling a better emotion, but right now I just feel tired. I don't mean to compare it to that, but it's just like, yeah, there's some similarities there, I feel. Oh boy. Post-printing depression. Emotionally tired, yes. They are essentially your babies. That is true. That is true. These are your babies. Yeah, okay. I guess, like, people see where I'm coming from on these. That's good. Post-printing depression. Yeah. Because it was just like, I've been, you know, working on the print revisions for these for over a year. Like, I started print revisions for these in, like, December of 2022. Like, it took that long to get the print revisions done. And then it was like, you know, you had to go through the process of waiting. And I got into a fight with my printer. In the process of getting them printed, I got into a fight with my printer, and it was just like so much back and forth, and oh my god. But yeah, so having a webcomic is an adventure, gang. Having a webcomic is an adventure. How far in the comic you're going to do revision/redraws? So the most redrawing I did was in the first couple of chapters. So I think that from here on it will be much easier. Like volume 1, or chapters like 1 and 2 were the ones that had the most revisions done to them, largely because I re-lettered the entire comic because I decided that I hated the old font that I used. And so I re-lettered the entire comic, and that didn't take very long, but I did do it. And so I, you know, had to like, I unsquared Ariana's jaw. No more square Rihanna. And I had to do that on like every page. I de-squared my daughter. They're looking a little blurry. I promise that is just because of the camera. My camera does not want to focus very well. But yeah, so you will notice like the font is different. It's the same font that I'm using now, but for the first 5 chapters, I used a different font and I decided that I didn't like it. But yeah, so I did, you know, like go back and change a few things. I de-squared Ariana. I changed a couple of details. But yeah, a bulk of the print revisions were in chapters 1 through 3. From here on out, I should have to do much less revisions. What I'm saying is that volume 2 should not take a year and a half to do print revisions for. Like chapter 4, once I stopped squaring Ariana's face, print revisions got so much easier. I blasted through the print revisions for chapter 4. That shit was so easy. That took like a week compared to chapter 1, which took me an entire month. My goodness. You changed those windows that Jay harried you about? Yeah, Jay bullied me for my squindos, so I had to go and get rid of all the squindos. But yeah, honestly, from here on, print revisions will be relatively light. Mostly just like fixing a few instances of like the character's eyes look a little wacky. There's like this hand looks weird. Just minor stuff, you know? But I need a break. Your girl needs a fucking break. And so I'm not planning on doing volume 2 next year. Volume 2 is a 2026 project. Because, so my goal is to do 4 chapters per book. And so volume 2 will be chapters 5 through 8. And then volume 3 will be chapters 9 through 12, which is gonna be a trip because 10, 11, and 12 are all really long chapters. So we'll see. We'll see how many. We'll see how well that works. Will we end up with 5 cast-off books eventually? My estimate is 5 to 7 volumes. I'm not sure. Because I can't see the future, and I don't know how many chapters the final comic will end up being. My thing is, like, I know the events of each chapter, but I don't know how many chapters the final count will end up being. Because I don't plan that far ahead. 20 to 30 chapters, roughly. I'm planning, like, my goal is, like, 21 or 22. But it might end up being more than that. We'll see. You have to finish the comic before you die. Yeah, no, I know. I'm not allowed to kick it. I'm not allowed to keel over until the comic's done. That's, like... that's my rule with myself. Bleh. What is currently stressing me out is that I have to start working on chapter 13 soon, which means that I also have to start writing the parts afterwards. I'm hoping to use this break as a time to do a lot of scripting work as well. Because I usually, you know, when I started the comic, I was several chapters ahead on my scripting. Oh, that's like or something. What's your plan for after cast-off? I don't have one because I don't have a 10-year plan. People keep asking me this and it feels like, I don't know. Cast-off is going to take me at least 5 more years to finish. At least. And so I don't like thinking that far ahead. I have no idea where I'm gonna be in 5 to 10 years. And every time people ask me this, I get stressed out. All right. Next box, done. All right, now I gotta open all these boxes. Where's my X-Acto knife? Ah, what do you have, Star? A knife! No! Oh God! He's cutting all the boxes open like a maniac! Oh my God! Okay, this is for you. Oh, open! There we go. Alright. Box number 3. You guys can't see it, but I've got a real big stack of boxes behind my desk. Ah! 3. Open the rest of the way. Please, thank you. It's like, you know, like 20 boxes. And we've gotten through 3. How long has the stream been up? 40 minutes? Ah, shit. We're gonna be here a while, chat. We're gonna be here a while. But it's fine, because we're having fun. Are we having fun, chat? This is what fun sounds like. And we'll have this over here. And we'll scoot it over there. And we'll move this over here. And I'm back. I'm back. All right. I have opened a new box. I've technically opened 4 new boxes, but they're all in an awkward pile behind me. And we're just gonna get through this. Yippee-ki-yay. This is the kind of the quality content I subscribed for. Good, because it's what you're gonna keep getting. More books. I just noticed your little Vector. He's so cute. Yeah, he keeps me company. Oh, I should talk about the makeshift plushies. Because, okay, so here's the thing about the makeshift plushies. They're still happening. I promise you guys they're still happening. They're not, they're gonna be a smidge later than the estimate, probably. Well, considering they're saying that the campaign is gonna start tomorrow, and they have not gotten the finalized plush back to me yet, I do not think they will be starting tomorrow. Probably later on in December. But, I will, of course, be yelling once they come up. They're very, very close to done with the most so they sent me the first prototype a couple weeks ago. Actually, I think it may have been a couple months ago by this point. But yeah, you know, they took a few weeks and they made me the first prototype. And I sent it back with like a list of revisions. I'm like, okay, so this looks a little funky. This should do this. I sent him back like a list of things, and I did some edits to the photos they sent me to kind of show them, like, hey, this is kind of more what I envisioned. Can we do this instead? Can we use this kind of fabric? The one thing that they did not let me do that I was kind of bummed about, because people were asking. I did ask if we could do like glow in the dark for the eyes, and unfortunately they said no because that's a fancy material and that means it would have cost more. And because people had already bought it, they couldn't go raising the price on it. So that was like the one thing I asked for that they weren't able to do, but they've been able to handle everything else. And so then they got me the second one back. And then the second one had like one thing that I wanted them to change. And so I'm still waiting on that version. But I will tell you guys, he looks real stinking cute. He looks real stinking cute. You can order them now. Can you pre-order? No. So the pre-order period was a couple months ago. But the plushies will be, because we had like a petition on Makeship, which is like, we have to get, 200 people to pledge for this. And if we can hit 200 people, like, backing the project, then the plushies will move into, like, the building it stage. And then we'll have, like a 3-week-long campaign where people can, like, buy the plushies. And then they'll make as many as they need to, and then they'll ship them out. So I don't know when the campaign will go live. Hopefully sometime before the end of December, but it's not clear at this point. I will tell you guys, though, they are looking real stinking cute. They are looking real stinking cute. Why don't you just lose money on the plushies for the eyes? Because it's not up to me, it's up to Makeship. And they said no, and they're the ones doing all the work on this. And so I was like, that's their prerogative. Listen, I know that Makeship has hey! No! Don't attack the Christmas tree. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I know that Makeship has done, like, limited edition reruns of plushies they've made in the past, so there is a I don't know, this is not me hinting at anything, but, if the Vector plushies sell well, maybe in the future they'd be willing to do a rerun where the eyes are glow in the dark. But I can guarantee nothing. So just take this as me being hopeful and optimistic, but not confirming anything. Did Milo's grumpy meow show up on the mic just now? She was back-talking me. She was sassing me. Being a sassy cat. She's a little teenager. She's 3 now. Milo, you're 3. You're 3 years old, did you know? Didn't hear it? Okay, because she's like... Because my mic has pretty good noise canceling. And so generally cat meows don't show up on the mic. But it always is funny whenever I jump on like a voice call with my friends, and so I'm using my my phone's microphone instead. Because then you can hear the kitty meows loud and clear, and everyone's always surprised. And it's like, oh my god, was that Milo? She's so loud. And I'm like, yeah. I'm not exaggerating when I says that she screams at me. She goes, meow, meow, meow. She's so loud. And I love her, but she's very loud. It just, she's not quite loud enough to show up on my computer mic most of the time. But those who have ever been in a voice chat with me while I'm like on my phone instead of my computer mic, they know. They know the Milo meows. Oh, Milo, Holostatic Observer, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. So with the little postcards that I send out with shop orders, I usually go by the name. I write the letter to the name that's on the mailing address. I just default to that, unless if you want the postcard signed to a name that's not the name on the mailing address, when you're checking out, you have the option to like write a message to the seller. You can write a message to the seller. It's saying like, hey, can you sign the postcard to this name, please? And I will do that. But aside from that, I usually just go with the shipping address name. Yeah. Yeah, I'm using the fan to make the ink dry faster. This is a fan. I bought this at Momocon a couple years ago. Ugh. And I keep meaning to, you know, use it during D&D, and I forget. Emery plush, please. I don't know if Emery could get a plush. The thing is, so Makeship has a minimum quantity of 200. So if you want to make a plush through Makeship, you have to sell 200 plushies for them to get made. As much as I love Emery, I love all of my D&D babies. As much as I love them, I don't know if they could sell 200 of themselves. Like, I don't think we get like, you know, 50 regular viewers on streams, but we get less than 1,000 views on the VODs in general. And, you know, considering that, like, the general metric I tell people is that whatever your audience numbers are, 1 in 100 people will be willing to spend money on the thing that you want to make. So, like, if you have 100 fans, on average, 1 fan will be willing to spend money on your stuff. And so, you know, we've got, let's say maybe generously 1,000 people who watch What's Left of Us. I don't think it's actually that high. But if we had 1,000 people who watch What's Left of Us, that means that that's 10 people who would be willing to pay money for a plush, maybe. And so, as much as I would love that, I don't think it's in the cards. I do love my Grumpy Girly very much. But, unfortunately, I've been doing this for long enough that I know you have to keep your expectations realistic. So that you don't waste money on something that no one's gonna buy. The standees are a good metric. Like, okay, so, you know, like, I have Emery standees in my store. Grand total for the entire time those have been available, I think I've sold less than 30 standees in total. And that's a standee. That's an acrylic standee. That's a standee that's like half the price of a makeshift plushie. And I've only sold 15, 20 of them during, like, ever. So, you know, you guys do the math. You need 200 plushies you need 200 orders to make a makeshift plushie. The numbers aren't numbering, you know? And it's fine. I'm not bitter about that. I just, you know, lay in bed at night thinking, like, man, that would be cool. And then I go to sleep. There's a lot of stuff that I would love to make just for me. But, you know, minimum order quantities do kill the man. I will say, though, you know, I have all 3 of my D&D daughters. I have them available as standees, because I did just add the lapis standees to my store. I have lapis standees in my shop now. Hang on, I can grab the link real quick. I think I've already sold like 10 lapises, which is way more than I thought I was going to. Where the heck is my shop link? Here we go. Copy. And paste. We have lapis standees now. She baby girl. And she has a Dave making a cameo. Lapis and Dave. But yeah, like, I love making stuff of my original characters, and I'm really excited that people care enough to buy the merch of my original characters. But the thing is, like, with big stuff like plushies, there's usually a pretty big minimum order quantity, and so that's what makes it tricky. However, I would love to just have plushies for me. I would love to have plushies just for me. Just for me. Just for me, and then I'd make a couple to sell, but I'd make them mostly just for me. I would kill a man for a Verity plushie, and I'm not kidding. want a Lapis plushie. I want plushies of all my baby girls. But we'll have to see. It might be in the cards in the future, but not a thing right now. Alas. Last few books out of here. What would you do if someone made a fan plush and mailed it to you? Probably scream. Actually, this is a good time to mention. So I was apprehensive about it at first. And I've been thinking about it. I probably wouldn't do it anytime super soon because I'm getting ready to potentially move here in the next 6 months or so. But maybe, potentially, eventually, I could open a P.O. box? I don't know. Maybe. My thing is that I have a P.O. box already. I have one. Hang on. I gotta shuffle my boxes. It's box shuffling time. Hiya! Huzzah! I get another box off the pile. Put it up there. I get this empty box. Put it over here. And I get this box and I scoot it over here. And I sit back down. Yeah. All right. So what was I talking about? That out of the corner of my eye, the movement of the book sliding onto my camera on like my OBS freaked me out because I just saw movement on my computer screen and I didn't know why things were moving and I was like, ah. But yeah, so I do have a P.O. box right now, but I use the P.O. box for mail returns. So it's like, you know, I use it for my shop. So if anything gets sent back to me because someone put the wrong address on their thing, it gets sent back to my P.O. box. And I've considered putting the address of the P.O. box out there. If people wanted to like send letters or something. But the thing that has stopped me currently is one, I have the smallest type of P.O. box. Because I don't really use it for mail, I just use it for returns. My P.O. box is 3 inches by 5 inches. It's real little. Like one thing can fit in it. And so there's that. And then on the other hand, I've talked about this, but I live in kind of a small town. There is only one post office in my town. And it's a little scary. It's like, it's on every order that I ship out, my return address, my P.O. box. So like, people know where I live. If you've ever ordered anything from my shop or you've ever like been on my mail club, you know what town I live in because it's on the return address. But it's just, it weirds me out living in such a small town and then knowing that people know approximately like the town I live in. I used the UPS store in a neighboring town when I needed a return address instead of my physical address. Yes, so that's kind of what I'm getting to. I am hoping, this is my goal, I am hoping to move, not to, but closer to Austin next year. That is my goal, because I grew up in Austin, that's what I'm familiar with. I considered moving a couple of different places. My main reason for it is just like, I moved up here specifically because it was close to family and mortgages were way cheaper up here. And my goal with moving, up here was, you know, get on the property ladder, start putting money into a house instead of just pissing it all away on apartment rent, and then... Is that a B grade, or is that gonna come off? There's a speck. It's a textured speck, so I think I can get it off. Oh my god. Looking speck. No, it's coming off, it's fine. So basically, what I've been doing for the last, like, 3 years that I've lived in this house is that I've just been taking all of my extra money and I've been shoving it into my house payment, essentially. Just aggressively, like, throwing money at my mortgage with the goal of eventually being able to, you know, use the money that I put towards this house to put towards a nicer house, closer to where I actually want to live. And I think the time is now, because I've kind of gotten sick of it. I've kind of gotten sick of being so far away from all the stuff that I want to be doing. And I want to be like, I have friends in Austin, I have, like, stuff I care about down there, and it sucks being so far away from it. And so I just want to, you know, I want... To quote a song, I want to be where the people are. It's like, I enjoy my house, I enjoy my neighborhood, but it's just so far away from all the stuff that I would prefer to be doing. I want to live closer to the city so that I can actually, you know, do stuff. And not have to drive an hour and a half down country roads to get home at night and risk hitting a deer. I hate how Austin has so many neat things, but it's so expensive. It is, but there are, I've been, you know, like, I've been looking on, like, Trulia and Zillow and all this stuff, and there are some places that I can reasonably afford. So, that is the hope. I'm not gonna start that process until I am done with the Kickstarter and stuff, so I'm probably not gonna start that process until next year. But I'm thinking that when I move, I'm gonna have to move my P.O. box anyway. So I'm thinking maybe doing, like, a new P.O. box in, like, a neighboring town in a different neighborhood. So that people don't know the exact, like, neighborhood I live in. Get one in, like, a neighboring town that's, like, 15 minutes away. You have got so many towns to choose from north of Austin. Yeah, exactly. And then I would feel a little bit safer because it wouldn't be, like, the exact same town that I live in. I could find, like, I could get it set up where I get, you know, like, an email or something anytime that there is mail dropped off there, and then I wouldn't have to drive over there super often. Just, you know, would make it a little easier. But yeah, so I'm kind of, like, loosely thinking that eventually, once I can manage that, then I could potentially open a P.O. box. But someone mentioned it, that, like, yeah, I am a little bit worried about opening it up to, like, people being weirdly parasocial. I feel like I'd need to make a rule that, like, it has to fit within a certain, like, size. I considered making, like, a letters only rule, where it's like, if it's not flat, I'm not taking it home. I know another YouTuber had a P.O. box, and for a while that she closed, and anytime they got mail that didn't fit in the box, the P.O. box just shoved it in a box in the back. Yeah, my people do that too. But I'd be worried that they'd get mad at me if I'm getting big stuff all the time, you know? It's just like, you know, I have nightmares about people sending me, like, a tracking device, and I don't realize it until I've already taken it home, you know? That kind of stuff is kind of nerve-wracking a little bit. So it's like, you know, on the positives, might get some cute, like, fan mail and stuff. On the opposite end, might get doxxed. scary. I feel like if I had an office or something that I could send stuff to, where I could, you know, like pre-screen things before taking them home, that would be one thing. But I don't really have that. Where can I find your book? Check the pinned comment. Some of the stuff they sent the other YouTuber was kind of weird. Yeah, that's my other fear. See, I like Throne because Throne lets me choose what I get sent. Like, people on Throne can request things that they would like to send to me. But they can't actually do it unless I allow it. Like, I have to approve something before people can send it to me. And so that kind of takes some of the creepiness factor off. But, you know, like, I've gotten, like, drawings and fan art and stuff from people at conventions, and I really, really like getting those. And I have, like, a little book that I keep them all in, and I put some of them on my bulletin board. And I think of all the good stuff that could potentially come from it. Like, I'd love to, you know, like, get fan letters and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. There's another, artist slash content creator I follow who does kind of the same stuff as me. And they get, like, they do, like, a fan mail for... This heart's kind of stupid. That might be a B grade. That one's a B grade, I think. That heart looks bad. Demoted for a bad-looking heart. Anyway. And they do, like, a whole fan art Friday thing, where it's, like, every Friday they open their fan mail, and they do stuff, and it was really cute and nice, and I'm like, oh man, I could do that. And then I remember someone's gonna send you an air tag in the mail, and they're gonna figure out where you live, and I'm just like, Meow. Molly, what are you doing? What are you meowing about? Molly's over there meowing about. I so thought that meow was me. That one was me. The one that y'all heard was me. But it was in response to Molly meowing. She's on the other side of the room and she just meowed really loud. Star is a cat confirmed. Nuh-uh, I'm an anime girl. No cats involved here. I mean, listen, I do sleep a lot, and I do bite people, but that's unrelated. What's an air tag? It's like, it's a little tracker that I actually use them. I keep an air tag in each of my pieces of luggage so that when I go to conventions, I don't lose them. So, like, if an airline loses my suitcase, I can pull up my app on my phone and be like, okay, it's here in the airport. Go find it. But I've heard of people, like, sending other VTubers air tags in the mail because then they'd be able to, you know, like, if your phone is synced up to the air tag, you'd be able to, like, see exactly where the air tag is. And so, say, for example, someone mailed me an air tag and I didn't open the package until I got home, people would know where I live. They could figure out my home address from that. And that's scary. Why are people so weird? Because just hate and stupidity and creepiness and all of those other nouns and adjectives. Yippee. If you have an iPhone, it actually detects unknown air tags nearby. Yeah, but you have to be within a certain range of it for a certain amount of time before it will alert you to be like, hey, there's an unrecognized air tag that's been hanging out in your orbit for a couple hours. Do you know about that? And so, theoretically, if there was one, I wouldn't know until I got home, basically. And by that point, it's already too late. And so on the one hand, that is creepy scary. On the other hand, what if someone wants to make me a Verity plushie and send it to me in the mail? How would I get it otherwise? But maybe I want that, have you ever considered? All right. I gotta shift boxes again. Okay, we gotta get this box in. We gotta put this box over here on the floor. And we gotta get the next box and we gotta put it over here on the shelf. And we gotta take this empty box and we gotta scoot it on over. And we gotta put the empty box over there. We gotta push this open and we gotta sit back down. Maybe you could take the mail someplace public to check it first before driving home. There are places that let you rent office space for a day. I mean, yeah, I did consider that, but at the same time, how much of a pain would that be? Like every time you know, assuming I check my P.O. box once a week, renting an office space or like going to a library just to check my mail once a week? I don't know. It seems like it would be kind of a pain. Bradley Komatsu, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. That's so sweet. But yeah, so it's just something I've been considering, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. If it's gonna happen, it's not gonna be till after I move, and I have no idea when that's gonna be. Actually, that heart's kind of bad. I'm gonna try and fix it. There, that's a little better. That heart's a little better. I need to not stack these books so high. It's making it hard to write. I do think that these metallic Sharpies take longer to dry. Unique collector's item, the awkward heart signature, yeah. You get an awkward heart. Just know I made it with love, but I probably stacked the box. I stacked the books a little too high and it made it hard to write. Oh, yeah. This is another topic I was going to bring up. I was thinking about making a community post about this, and I decided against it because I made a community post yesterday, and I don't want to swarm you guys with community posts. I already know what my January video is going to be, because I'm doing just a simple story time for January, because I'm trying to take some time off, and so I don't want to get bogged down in any, like, complicated video production or anything. So my plan for my January video is a pretty simple one. But as far as my monthly videos from then on, I've got a couple of ideas. But I was gonna open it up. No guarantees that I would take any of the suggestions, but if you guys have suggestions for videos, things you guys would like to see me do, topics you guys would like me to cover, anything of that nature, I'm interested in what you guys potentially would like to see. Because I know that my stuff has kind of shifted a little bit over the past year. I've started doing more like art-focused videos as opposed to like my storytime stuff. I still like doing the storytime videos and they are really easy to edit. Just finished that D&D video about Verity's campaign. I'm working on it. I can't say that. I have not been working on it because I've been so busy. My goal is that basically as soon as the Kickstarter fulfillment is done, I am jumping straight into that shit. Because I really want to finish that dang video. At this point, it's just like, I just want it to be done. I want it to exist. Because if I didn't want it to exist, I wouldn't be working so hard on it. But at this point, it's a combination of, I really, really want to get this done so that I can show it to people and so it'll exist. And the other half of me is just like, 1,000-yard stare. I just need this video to be fucking done. Could you do a story time about your cats potentially? I genuinely don't know if I have enough stories about my cats, if I'm being completely honest. Like, they are well-behaved little babies. And the way that I got them is not that interesting. I adopted them both from a shelter. Like, that's about all the stories that I have about them. That page got a weird crease in it. Y'all seeing that? It's like, oh yeah, there's like a weird crease in that page. That's gonna also be a B grade. I'll still sign it. But that's gonna be a B grade. That's going in the B grade pile. That's going in the B grade pile. But yeah, I'm really hoping that I'll be able to like sit down and get a real big chunk of the D&D video done in the next like couple of weeks. Cause I've put so much work into it already. I just really want to get it done. And I just have not had time to even think about it recently. And it breaks my heart. Because, you know, like, I wrapped up production on Chapter 12 several weeks ago, like over a month ago at this point. And I was hoping that I would have more time. It's like, okay, once Chapter 12 is done, then I'll be able to focus more on the D&D video. But instead what happened is that I shifted focus to, you know, getting my next couple of videos done so that I could, you know, not have to worry about video production during my vacation. And so I finished my November video, and I finished the sketchbook tour, and then I jumped straight into working on my December video, and the December video is done now, but it took so much time to finish that I just finished it like a couple days ago. And then basically as soon as it was done, I had to start packing Black Friday orders because Black Friday hit me like a fucking truck. And now I literally finished packing Black Friday orders this morning. It took over a week, but I finally did it. I got all of them in the mail. And now, like the day I finish packing everything for Black Friday, now I've got a Kickstarter to pack. And so, you know, it's like, just when I think I'm done and I can finally sit down and work on the D&D video, like 3 more things happen. I'm just like, but once the Kickstarter is done, I have nothing planned, and I'm planning on taking a slightly longer hiatus between chapters than I usually do, just because I have some bonus content that can fill that void. Because of Volume 1, so my plan, and I've actually started doing this on Patreon already. My plan is that during the cast-off hiatus, like the between chapter hiatus, I'm gonna be posting the bonus world building pages from the back of the book. I'm gonna post there's 8. One of them is just like a world map, but then the rest of them are like new info about the world that you could assume from the comic, but some of it's like new information. And so I'm planning on posting one of those a week. I've already started doing it on Patreon, but also, you know, like once the main site also starts its hiatus, I'm gonna post them there as well. And there's 8 pages. So if I post once a week, that'll be about 2 months of stuff for the webcomic to just, you know, kind of keep you guys entertained. While I try to work on other things. But it's just, you know, like the longer the Kickstarter takes and the longer all this stuff takes, the less time I'm gonna have to work on stuff before I have to start prepping chapter 13. And it's like, I love my comic. I do. But my good golly, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to work on. It's just hard. It's a little bit of a struggle, right? Apparently this book signing stream is just where we're getting real about real life shit. You know, I joke all the time that I have 4 jobs in a trench coat. Because, you know, I'm a freelancer, I'm an artist, and I'm self-employed. And in order to guarantee that I have a stable income, I kind of have, you know, like, your streams always get real. I suppose they do. That's true. That's not too far off. Speck. There is a speck. I'll fix it later. But yeah, so, you know, it's like, I will admit there is a little bit of, so like, okay, I should preface this with more stuff first. That, you know, I have my webcomic, and I love my webcomic, but my webcomic only makes up about a quarter of my income. I love doing YouTube. I have so much fun with YouTube, but YouTube accounts for even less. Well, I guess it's about a quarter if you include sponsorships. If you include sponsorships, YouTube is also about a quarter of my income. I like making merch. I like drawing stuff. I like doing, you know, conventions. And that also accounts for about roughly a quarter to a third of my monthly income. And, you know, I love doing all of these things, but the problem is that they all take a lot of time each. And I have to dedicate a lot of time to them. So, you know, it's like I think about, oh, I would love to update the comic more than twice a week, because then I could get through pages faster, I could get through the story a little faster, I could spend more time working on the comic, and I could focus more on that. That would be great. If I earned more on Patreon, that's potentially something I could do, because then I could, like, focus less on other things. But if I spend more time dedicated to working on the comic, then I can't work on my other stuff. And it's like, I see... And it's like, it's the same with YouTube, right? Because it's like, I would love to just sit down and focus and work on the big D&D video and just, like, focus on just doing YouTube stuff. But if I did that, then I'd have to put the webcomic on the back burner, and I refuse to do that because the webcomic is my baby. The webcomic I want to be my main bread and butter. The webcomic is my thing. The webcomic is my life. Look at it. It's right here. But, like, I see, you know, these successful YouTubers in my niche, and they have... It feels like they have so much more free time because they don't run a YouTube channel in addition to making a webcomic. And I see all these comic artists who are doing, like, little extra comics and things. And I'm like, man, I wish I had time to do other extra comics. How do these guys have so much free time? They don't also have a YouTube channel. And so it's just like, the problem with having a bunch of different jobs in a trench coat is that they are always fighting for the limited amount of time that you have in your repertoire. You only have so many minutes per day. And it's a challenge. It is a challenge. At this point, what I would love is to be able to focus just on the comic and YouTube. I would love to be able to just do two things and, like, do fewer conventions and things. And honestly, I'm on pace to be able to do that relatively soon, hopefully. I have been focusing a lot less on the online store. And most of my shop sales come from sales of How to Webcomic anyway. And so, like, I'm in the process of, part of my Black Friday sale was discontinuing a lot of merch that I'm kind of trying to clear out inventory for. And so, like, that'll help. I'm probably not going to do as much fan art from now on. I'm honestly trying to discontinue a lot of my fan art just so I don't have to worry about keeping the inventory in stock. I'm still gonna do conventions, but I'm not gonna do as many as I used to, just because I don't need to focus on it as more. But, you know, it's like... The point I'm trying to make is it is a genuine struggle to keep up with it all. And it sometimes makes me wish I could just pick one. If I was going to pick just one, I would pick the comic. But I do still like doing YouTube. You know? I like making videos. I really enjoy the process of putting something together. I like doing the art for them. I just really like making stuff. And it's just like, I wish I had fewer things that I liked. I feel like I would have more free time. And I don't mean to complain. Because honestly, I really shouldn't be. My job is fucking awesome. I get to draw a webcomic about my silly little guys, and I get to make silly videos where I scream about my D&D characters, and I do this as my job. This is how I earn a living, and that's a wild sentence. If you had told me that this was, if you go back in go back in time like 10, even 5 years ago when I first started doing freelance, if you had told me that, like, yeah, at some point in the not too distant future, you're gonna be a pretty successful, like, a decently successful YouTuber, with a pretty big audience, and you earn, like, when I first started, I was struggling a lot. Cause, you know, it's like, it is a struggle. It's hard doing this full time, because it's never stable. Like, one of the reasons I started YouTube, when I first started doing art, my main income, and basically my only income, was I had my Patreon from my online store, or I had my Patreon for my webcomic, and then I had my online store, but most of my money came from my online store, and so I had to make a certain amount of sales each month to be able to afford everything. And so I was constantly grinding, working, trying to make sales on a constant basis, and it worked for a couple years there, but I just got to a point where I was so tired trying to make sales all the time. One of the reasons I shifted to YouTube was I wanted a new way to make money that was not reliant on sales. That was not reliant on constantly having to drive sales. And I'm really lucky it works, because I'm like way less stressed now than I was when I had to focus purely on store stuff and conventions. I'm way less stressed now than I was like 5 years ago, but it's still stressful because you gotta balance everything, right? Here, I gotta shuffle my boxes again. 1 sec. All right, we gotta take this book and we gotta put this box on the ground, and then we gotta get the next box. We're gonna put it up here on the shelf, and we're gonna grab the empty box and we're gonna move it over to this side table here. And then we sit back down. All right. All right, let's keep her going, chat. On the bright side, you probably do make quite a bit of moolah. I mean, I can't lie. I do make a pretty decent amount of money doing this. Like, this is the best paying job I've ever had. Despite all the everything, despite self-employment taxes, despite all the money I have to spend, I spend more in expenses every year than I used to make at my first job. Like, my first office job, I'm not including Bees Lake Phylactery in that. But yeah, so I mean, like, it would be a lot harder if I was making, like, you know, less. But I do make a good living doing this, is the thing. But, you know, shit's still expensive, and the economy is scary. And so, you know, I want to make sure that I am taking care of myself. And I want to make sure you guys are all taking care of yourselves as well. It's one of the reasons I was kind of nervous about opening a throne, is like, I'm just like, this is all stuff I could buy for myself. But, I don't know. Seeing as you live in America, that's not too high of a bar. I mean, yeah. But I mean, you know, my first job paid me enough. It paid me enough to, back in the day, rent a 1-bedroom apartment, and that was all I needed. I lived very comfortably off the money from that first job, even though I was only making like 40K a year. It was a comfortable 40K a year. And then when I moved to Japan, I was making a little more, but not that much more. But the thing about living in Japan was that my rent and utilities totaled to less than $500 a month. And that's including rent, internet, water, electric, like all of my expenses living in Japan were less than $500 a month, because my rent was like $300. It was real freaking cheap living over there. Because I didn't live in a big city. I lived in like a suburb. And my apartment was old and had 0 insulation, but I only paid like $300 a month for rent. Like, it's honestly pretty cheap living over there. And so what I ended up doing was I took all of the money that I was earning and not spending while I was living over there, because I didn't live extravagantly over there. I didn't travel a whole lot. I didn't, like, spend all my money on, like, buying a bunch of shit I didn't need. I didn't do a whole lot of traveling. I wish I had done more, but my thing was I didn't really have a lot of friends over there, and the friends I did have weren't able to, like, afford to do stuff with me. And I didn't want to go places alone. And so I ended up not doing a whole lot of travel while I was there. And so I ended up just saving a lot of money. I just took all of the money, like over half of my paycheck every month, I was just like transferring to my American bank account and just shoving it into savings. And that money is eventually how I was able to buy my first house. Like, I took a big chunk of that Japan earnings money and I turned that into a down payment on my half. Not all of it came at that. But a big chunk of it did. Combine that with I've always been pretty frugal and good with my money. And it's just a good... I've been supremely lucky, but I've also been, you know, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I am very smart with money. Like, that is one of my strengths, is that I am very good at managing my funds. I am very conscious of how much I am making every month. I am very conscious of how much I can spend on certain things. And I try to save money where I can so I can spend more money on the fun stuff, you know? Like, I don't have a car payment because my car is like 12 years old and I'm gonna drive that thing until it doesn't go no more. I moved to a town, like, pretty far away from a city because you know, because of my job, I can afford to live anywhere with an internet connection and a post office. And so I could move anywhere, so I moved to a place and bought a house with a cheaper cost of living. It's just, the circumstances have all worked out very well. And I consider myself profoundly lucky. But I can't blame it all on luck, because I did, you know, put in a lot of work to make it work. And I sacrificed a lot of time and energy and stress to make it work. And I still do, if we're being honest. I have to, like, constantly be on my grind. That's why I'm taking, like, a month off, is because I don't get a vacation. Guys, I've been doing this job full-time for almost, I think it's been more than 5 years at this point. Yeah, my 5-year anniversary of being a freelancer was over the summer. It was, like, back in August. I've been doing this for 5 years. I only just started taking weekends off. Think about that. I haven't had weekends in a couple years. Like, I would occasionally, you know, like, take one day off in the middle of the week. Like, I used to take, like, Thursdays off, or Wednesday, I can't remember exactly, but I would take, like, one day off a week where I would just kind of, like, chill. But I only just started giving myself, like, dedicated weekends again. Because I was basically, like, working every single day. And I still do for a large part, especially, like, I was pretty good about giving myself weekends for a couple weeks there. And then I got so stressed with, like, video prep and trying to get everything I had on my schedule done and dusted before Kickstarter. Oh, is that a spec? Is that gonna come off? It's dimensional, I can feel it. There we go. But yeah, like, I probably work. My thing is, like, It's hard to know the number of hours I work each week because it varies. But I mean, also, I don't really track it. I'm willing to bet I work 50 to 60 hours a week on average, but at the same time, like, I do my best to work really efficiently. So, hard to say. I feel like one of these days I should just like sit down and actually calculate and like have a timer so that I know how much time I'm spending on things. But ugh, I always forget. And now wouldn't be a good time to do it because I'm kind of in hyperdrive mode right now. Ever since chapter 12 finished, my schedule's been real wacky. And I've just been trying to focus on, it's like, okay, I usually have like specific days blocked out for working on specific things. But ever since I finished chapter 12, it's just been, just work on what needs to get done because there's so much shit that needs to get done. You know? But yeah, I mean, my thing is, it's hard, and I don't think that this is a job that anybody could do because it does require a profound amount of self-discipline. And I know that not everyone has that, and I know that's really difficult for a lot of people. So I don't think this is a job I could recommend to everyone. You do definitely have to have a lot of self-discipline, and you have to have a lot of get up and go. And you have to know how to manage your time well. And you have to just be willing to sit down and do stuff you don't want to do all the time. And you have to be so conscious of how you're spending like every hour of your work week. And you have to be smart, and you have to be a strategist. You have to like plan stuff, and you have to think around like a constantly changing financial environment. And it's hard, it's very difficult. It's stressful, and there are days when it is not fun. But then there are days when you get to sit and draw your little blorbos and just have fun making something that you enjoy and that other people enjoy as well. And honestly, that's freaking awesome. Okay, this one, it almost looks like the print got a little bit messed up on this one. My swirlies look a little funky. It's kind of weird. The other books aren't like that, are they? I think I would have noticed. I don't know, that's just this one. That's weird. It's not gonna show up on the camera. It's almost like the black ink bled a little bit on these. It's not gonna show up on camera, it's not gonna focus enough. Kinda weird though. Didn't do that on any other pages? Like it only did that on the cover page. Dash weird. Dash weird. Looks kinda cool though, it looks like antiqued. As long as it doesn't affect the actual books, then it's fine. Part of me that hates my day job would love to do art full time, but the other part that likes the stability of a regular paycheck. Yeah, I will admit that there are days when I miss being able to go home and not think about work and still like get a paycheck. Because it is easier. And I mean, I do definitely think like there isn't any shame in, you know, having a full-time job for the stability and doing your art on the side, or even just a part-time job for like extra money and benefits. Like there's no shame in that, especially not in this fucking economy. If you live in the States, like my God. 30% of my income goes to the government. Self-employment taxes. 30%. Federal income tax. Fucking ridiculous. One of the reasons I like living in Texas is that there's no state income tax on top of that. A lot of states do have income tax. What do I even do with it? Buy guns, I guess. For the military that then keeps me up because they're firing tanks at 2 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm not bitter. It's health insurance that unnerves me about it. Yeah, my thing is like... Another reason that I am very lucky is that I am also very healthy. I feel like if I was less healthy, I would have a lot of a harder time. I would have a much harder time. But thankfully, I am a very healthy person with very few health problems, aside from sometimes if I eat fruit snacks, I get tummy upset. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I could complain about. And I have, Lord knows I have been sitting here complaining about a lot of things. But at the end of the day, this is still the best job I've ever had. And I don't think I ever want to go back to doing a day job. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could handle being told what to do every day. I'd last a week and then I'd be like, you know what, fuck you, I'm going back to drawing my little blorbos. Like, you can't tell me what to do, I quit! And I just like, strut out of the store, and I go back and I draw more little blorbos and I just make myself happy. But yeah, I mean, part of me is kind of nervous with how things are going to change over the next few years. At the same time, nobody could have predicted 2020. And I survived that. And I survived 2020 being the first year I was being an artist full-time. I moved back from Japan ready to start my full-time art career with no safety net in 2019. Like, tail end of 2019 is when I started my business. And then the craziest thing happened. And I just keep telling myself, yeah, what happens next year is probably going to not be pleasant. But if you survived 2020, you can survive whatever happens next. And that's what's been keeping me afloat. I gotta shuffle my boxes again. Yippee! Wowie gee! What? Oh shit, it's open boxes hours. Time to open more boxes. Star's got a knife. Watch out, universe. Wowie zowie. Wowie zowie. I'm opening boxes. With my knife. Who let Star have a knife? Oh my god! Oh god, millions are dead. Oh no, this is a nightmare. Who gave her a knife? She's wreaking havoc. Everything's fucked! Oh, Jesus. Ow. I don't know why I said ow there. I think I had some... I didn't hurt myself, I just opened the box and it made a loud noise. Getting empathy pangs for the box I'm tearing open with my bare hands. Ooh-wah! Hiya! Etc. Anyway. Alright, let me pry this here. Box open. Alrighty. Quality entertainment right here, folks. You got that right. You fucking know it. I worry for her cats. They're not even in the room. Well, Molly is, but she's on the other side of the room. She's eeping. She's eeping. I'm not sure how many books I've signed at this point. Has anyone been keeping count? Anybody been keeping count for me? Why haven't you been keeping count of all the boxes or all the books I've been finding, chat? You're supposed to be helping me with this. Probably 55 million. I'm sure that it is somewhere in between those two numbers the true answer lies. Because I can do the math, because there's like 26 boxes in each, or books in each box. Hi, Milo. Hi. Hello, kitten. Hello. Who is baby? Because let's see, there's about 26 books per box. I've done 7 boxes. Quick chat, what's 26 times 7? Somebody get a calculator out. 26 times 7 equals how many? 144, 182. Okay, one of you is wrong. 182, 182. It's not even been 200. Oh, shit. Well, it'll be 200 after I finish this box. And then I will be 2/7 of the way done. Holy Jesus, I'm gonna be doing this for days. I'm just gonna have to put on some good video essays over the next few days. And just fucking chug along to these. You gonna do another signing stream? Maybe? It depends on, okay, whether or not I do another signing stream will be delegated to how much I can get done over the next couple of days. I might do like a TikTok live or something, because I can be a little bit more free form with a TikTok live. I just kind of like turn it on whenever I feel like it. Although, you know what I have been meaning to experiment with is YouTube lets you do vertical streams now, and I have not played with it at all yet. But at the same time, it's like I almost never see live streams in my shorts feed anyway. So I don't know how worth it that would be. I don't know. I might fuck around and find out. We'll see. Take care of your hand. Don't strain at signing a million books. No, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Honestly, I used to get wrist pain. I have not had like significant wrist pain in several years, actually. I've learned to recognize my limits, and I know when to take breaks, and I do make a point to take breaks frequently. Like, I feel like people might kind of be getting the wrong idea of like, because I just spent a really long time talking about work and how much I work and how stressed I am about everything. I do want to stress though that I do take care of myself. Like, I'm not the best at like eating 3 square meals a day, but you know, I make sure to have breakfast and I make sure to have at least like a decent dinner every night. I'm best at breakfast because I usually just like, I'll buy like muffins or something at the store and that's like my breakfast. But my thing is like, my mom tried to give me grief when she was visiting for Thanksgiving. And she was like, yeah, because this girl doesn't sleep. And I was like, wrong. Factually incorrect, mother. I do all my shit. I work this many hours. I cannot not get 8 hours of sleep a night. If I don't get 8 hours of sleep a night, I don't function. So I make a point to get sleep. A good amount of sleep, like at least 8. I get at least 8 hours a night. Usually closer to 9. On top of all the shit that I do. Because, one, I know myself, and I know that if I don't get enough sleep, I do not function. And if I do not function, I cannot be efficient, and that means that I will end up working longer hours. So it is to my benefit that I get a good amount of sleep, because then I can be more efficient during the day, and it's a win-win situation. I'm pretty reliably in bed by midnight, and I usually don't wake up until like 7:30 or 8-ish. Want to let you know you're a really good role model, especially for self-awareness. I am glad to hear that. I do, you know, I do think that there is some stuff I could be better about. Like, I could definitely be better at, like, nutrition and stuff. I have been trying to get better recently. But I've just seen too many articles of comic artists dying young because they pulled too many all-nighters. And one of the reasons why I love this job as opposed to working on other people's schedules and deadlines for not enough pay is that I work on my own deadlines. Which means that I can save myself some of that stress. When does Volume 1 physically release? Read the pinned comment, my friend! It's up there for the world to see. If your question does not have an answer, it will have an answer in January. I can't guarantee anything just yet. Patience is a virtue. But yes. I do, you know, try to make sure that I'm getting at least a decent amount of, like, protein and stuff. I need to be better about taking my vitamins, but I'm generally pretty good. But yeah, just, you know, no job is worth sacrificing your health over, in my opinion. No job is worth that. You have a limited number of minutes on this earth, and a job that does not respect that is not worth it. I know that it's hard and a lot of people don't really have the choice, but do what you can to take care of yourself. You know? Like, it took me a long time to get into a good flow and a good rhythm of what I do. For a couple of years there, I was just kind of winging it every day. But over time, I figured out, like, a schedule that worked for me. And it takes time, it takes experimentation, it takes being willing to be flexible with yourself and what you do and how much you're willing to do every day. And not every job is perfect for every person. But I do think that if you can work out something that works for you, the experimentation is worth it. You know? Try to learn something about yourself every day. Or at least be in the mindset of wanting to learn. You know? Try to figure out what your limits are and then make an effort not to go over those. Like, that's what I'm doing with this Kickstarter, right? Is because last year I had to pack... I basically sat down and did nothing but pack Kickstarter orders for How to Webcomic for like 2 weeks straight. And then I got so burnt out I didn't do anything for like 2 weeks. I just like sat and didn't do shit for like 2 whole weeks after that. I was so fucked up. And so this time I am taking precautions so that I don't do that again. I've got some friends on the hook to like help me package orders and stuff. And this Kickstarter is smaller than my last one, so there's fewer books to pack. And, you know, not running pre-orders for the books was another part of like that self-respect and that self-control. Because like I said, I could have opened pre-orders for the books and that would have, you know, been a good marketing thing, because then people could see like, oh shit, the books are available, and they see me streaming and they see me signing books, and then they can click the link in the pinned comment and go get a book of their own. I thought about that, I debated that, but I decided that it wasn't worth the stress it was going to cause me, because the books aren't a limited time thing. The books will be available in perpetuity. And so it's not worth stressing myself out for getting a couple of sales now that I could still, you know, get later. Patience is a virtue and all that. And that in the end, my mental and physical and emotional health is more important than getting a few pre-orders for a book that's going to be available in perpetuity and is not a limited time thing. You know? But see, if I had done that, if I wouldn't have had that same level of self-control last year, because I remember very specifically I did the same thing last year, but I did have pre-orders for How to Webcomic up. I opened pre-orders for How to Webcomic basically as soon as the Kickstarter was over. And then I ended up getting a lot of snippy emails from people who didn't understand how pre-orders work, and then when the books got delayed by like a month, I got a lot of really pissed off emails of people being like, where the hell is this book that I bought? Where the hell is it? And then I had like 500 pre-orders to pack on top of all of the books I had to package for the Kickstarter, and it just made my life so much more difficult than it needed to be, right at the end of the year. So I'm trying not to do that anymore. All right, that's another box down. We've officially passed like 200-ish. Oh, nope, there's still one more. There's uno más. Hello. Alrighty. Cool. Alright, another box. Done. Yippee-ki-yay. Let's go, gamers. It's time for the box shuffle. We put the box down on the ground and we switch it around, and then we get the next box and we pick it up. Oh, this is the weird one that's not all the way full because it's like half the weight as the others. Whatever, we'll still manage it. Yeah, they put like not enough books in this box. This is just like a weird black sheep of a box that doesn't have enough books in it. Whatever. Whatever, this is probably the awkward leftovers box. I'll still sign it. I will resist despite it. Milo? Oh, are you climbing on the pile of boxes? Yes, she's sitting on my book pile. It's now low enough for her to be confident to jump on. Milo? Milo? Sweet kitten, what are you doing? Are you a baby? You a baby animal? Yeah? She's a baby. She's a baby. Hey! Okay, she just jumped off. I thought she was scratching the boxes. Milo! That doesn't look like a heart. I got distracted. That doesn't look like a heart. That's going in the B grades. Oh. Oh. We're angling for a Milo cameo here in a sec. Hey, Milo! Do you want to be a YouTube star? You want to be an influencer? Uh-oh. Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. She is like so close to the camera. Milo! No, don't. The people on the internet want to see you, baby. The people on the internet want to say hi. You want to come over here? You want to? I know I usually kick you off my desk when you get up here. Milo, psst, psst, psst. Hi, hi. She's like right here. Milo, hi. You wanna? I know I usually don't encourage you to get on my desk. So this is probably very strange for you. Milo, hey, psst, 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 psst. Come here. Milo, Milo, psst, psst, psst. Milo, Milo, And she's gone. Damn it. All right. Well, sorry guys. Milo says no internet today. Milo says no. She jumped off my desk. She was so she was literally like less than an inch from being on the camera. You guys have been denied. I'm sorry. I can't control her. She does what she wants. Milo! She's under my desk now. Milo! 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 Itty bitty pretty little kitty Milo. Milo! Come here. Wanna be an influencer? Yeah, I know. Come here. Get. Milo? Hello? She's like, nope. She does not want to be on the desk. There's your Milo cameo for the stream. There's your Milo cameo. The gatito, yes. She's gatito. Petite baby gatito. Petito gatito. Okay. Yeah, so I figure I'll probably go another hour, because that's how long my streams usually go. And we'll just see how far I can get. I guess I've signed about 100 books an hour. And I'd be going a little bit faster if I was not entertaining chat as well. So I could potentially finish signing all the books tomorrow. And just sit down and grind through them. Put something on TV. And just chug through. Glamour shot of the fan again. Roll for initiative. Oh yeah, he's not here right now. But fucking Jay is being so mean to my baby girl. We played yesterday, our Thursday game, the one that I play Verity in. And he attacked us with jellyfish that slurp your magic out of you. And all 4 of them are attacking Verity right now. And we ended the session mid-combat because we ran out of time. How dare he be mean to my baby girl? How dare? She's baby. She is baby. Rude. I'm just thinking of what I could watch tomorrow, just like, you know, while I'm signing books forever. And just thinking about stuff that I've watched recently. I usually don't get, like, I don't watch as much anime or anything as I used to. But the show that I have selected for this season that I've been keeping up with, I've been watching Dandadan. Is kind of weird. It's certainly a show. But it's really good and I'm really liking it. Like, I have been keeping up with it, like, episode to episode. And I have been enjoying the heck out of it. It's a wild show. It is a wild show, and honestly, I've been enjoying it more than I thought I would. The animation is, like, so good. Why is it so pretty, though? Like, why is it so pretty, though? Who gave you the right And honestly, it's just like the main characters are both so heckin' lovable. It's extremely well written, like as far as the character interactions go. I've been really enjoying it. I'm usually not into shonen anime because I feel like a lot of shonen anime doesn't have the emotional depth that I'm really wanting to get out of it. Looking at you, Jujutsu Kaisen. I still have beef. But this one's doing a good job. This one's making me feel things. I enjoy it. And I like that the main characters are like not these perfect people, but they're still it's a unique setup for a shonen, I will give it that much. It's very cute. I'm adopting Okarun, by the way. He's my son. He's my son. I love nerds. I love little nerds that I can just adopt. But honestly, like, both the leads are really good. I like them both for different reasons. Guys, do you think... Hey, guys. CASTOFF's not a shonen anime, is it? Because I don't think it'd be a shoujo. If CASTOFF was an anime, what genre would it be? Absolutely not. Okay, but consider, maybe it's not like, it's not a Naruto, it's not a One Piece, it's not a Bleach, it's not any of these shows. But I do feel like, it's not anime because it is made in Japan. That's not what I'm talking about. If CASTOFF was an anime, what genre would it be? We're playing a game. Play with me in the space. Don't be boring. Be fun. Play in the space with me. Fantasy adventure. Yeah, but like, it's not... I'm just thinking of like, you know, your traditional anime genres, like shonen, shoujo. I get... I don't know. I was just like... Is it? I don't know. It's ramped up slice of life. No, it is not. CASTOFF is not a slice of life in any sense of the word. In no universe is CASTOFF a slice of life story. Roundabout isekai, it's kind of like a whole new world for Vector. Like, maybe kind of, sort of, but not really. I would not consider it an isekai. Seinen? Maybe. Maybe. I'm not, like, super familiar with what the, if it had to be in a magazine, then probably Shonen Jump. Because, see, that's what I'm saying, because would that make it a shonen anime, though? He got teleported. Yeah, but he didn't get teleported to a different universe. He got teleported, like, a couple, like, miles away. It's fine. If I got teleported to California, that does not make it an isekai. It's just California. But that doesn't mean shoujo anime can't have fantasy adventure series. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that shoujo can obviously have that, but is CASTOFF a shonen or a shoujo anime? I feel like if you had to pick one or the other, it's probably more like a shonen anime, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. Because I feel like... The people are split. The people are conflicted. If CASTOFF is an isekai, does that mean Cart is the truck? Well, no one died in that instance, so I would not agree with that. But if I did write CASTOFF as a shonen, then or as an isekai, then that would be a good place to start. Anyway, I'm shuffling boxes again. Yippee! Wacky! It's the box shuffle again. This one happened a lot sooner because there weren't that many books in that box. Oh, but this one's full. All the rest of these are full. Ugh. Blech. Sorry, IKEA furniture. I hope you don't collapse under all of the fucking weight of these books that I'm putting on you. Blech. All right, and then we're gonna just drop this piece of paper on the floor because I don't care. Are Alice in Wonderland and Wizard of Oz technically isekais? Not technically, they are isekais. Those absolutely both count as isekai. But I would not call CASTOFF isekai because they're not going to another world. They're going to, like, slightly to the left. Oh, man. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but now that it's super obvious that it is not true, I guess I can talk about it. I remember pretty early on in CASTOFF, there was someone who made a theory on CASTOFF that they not only teleported through, they didn't just teleport, they also traveled through time. And when I saw that theory, I was like, damn it, that would have been so cool. Why didn't I think of that? And can you, like, imagine if, like, you go through the entire comic thinking they're still running in the same timeline, and then finally it gets to the point where, like, Zara and the squad finally catch up to their protagonist, and they're both in the same place, and the audience is like, oh my god, they're finally gonna meet, they're finally gonna run into each other. And then you see them both in the exact same places, and then you realize, oh shit, they're in the same place, but they're not seeing each other because they're in different times. Woo! That is not the case, but I remember someone theorized that back in the day. That was a theory comment I got a long time ago, and I remember, like, damn it, why didn't I think of that? That would have been so cool. I could have done so much playing with that. That would have been such a big twist. That would have been so cool. But no. I don't think I could write a time travel story. That stuff is complicated and confusing to me. Yeah, so the thing is, like, there actually is some, like, timeline shenaniganery, timeline and different dimension shenaniganery happening in our D&D campaigns. It's real light. It's not like our characters are traveling through time, but other characters are, and, like, the campaigns are, like, in slightly different universes, but because, like, the timelines don't match up perfectly, like, different things are happening in simultaneous from, like, one of these universes is, like, they're technically running in parallel, but one of them is, like, 100 years faster than the other one. And even just that kind of, like, wigs my brain out a little bit. So I'm not sure if I would ever write a story like that myself, just because it gets so confusing and people get so uptight in the ass about it, you know? Which actually reminds me, something I've been thinking, I've talked about this before, about how I kind of want to, like, I love my D&D Blorbos. I love them so much. And there's part of me that wants to use them in some kind of, like, probably not a comic, because as much as I love comics, they take too long. I'm thinking maybe like a light novel. Like a written prose novel with occasional illustrations. I want to take the campaign and kind of simplify it and adapt it into a written work, focusing on, like, my own characters. And I've still, you know, just been, like, kind of bouncing it around in my head, but I want to step away from, like, D&D lore. And I've just been thinking about, like, how I would adapt the story and how, like, okay, this thing would probably stay pretty similar, but then these other parts would probably be different. Da-da-da. It's like, do I want to focus purely on Verity, or do I want to, like, get some of my other OCs into the mix? It's like, how big of a project do I want this to be, you know? And I've just been kind of thinking about it. Because, like, if it's gonna be a story that I am writing based on our campaign, it's like, how much do I keep the same versus how much do I kind of, like, shift an adaptation to make it more of a, like, a book? So like the Vox Machina show, but written? Not really. I'm thinking I would probably end up changing quite a bit. Not because I'm not satisfied with our D&D story, but because I think that a book that's just one-to-one of a D&D campaign would be kind of boring. And also, my other thing is, I worry about including other people's characters in the adaptation, because then I feel like it would need to be almost written by committee. And so it's like, I don't know, it's like, should I keep the original cast in there? Should I like change out some of the characters? Would my friends be like sad if I did that? And it's just like, but I don't know. What is going on this one? This one's got like some detritus on it. It came right off, it's fine. Like, my point is, I love my babies, and I want to use them for something. And so rather than just adapt, but I want to use some of my characters that I haven't gotten to use yet. I want to use a lot of the characters that I talked about in my OC's video. Because, I love those characters so much, and I want to use them for something, and I feel like this would be a good place for it. But I don't know. I'm still waffling. I'm still thinking. And I'm also trying to like work on the world building in the background because I want to step away from D&D lore. I don't know. It's kind of a project that I've got like bubbling around in the back of my head. Verity backstory graphic novel. It would not be a graphic novel because graphic novels take way too much time. But I have been thinking about doing like, if nothing else, a series of short stories. I think it would be cool to, I think it would be very cool to do a series of 5 short stories. And each short story is from the perspective of a different member of Verity's old party. And they kind of go in order of who joined the group first. So the first one would be about Willow and Verity doing like some kind of little kid's adventure. And it would be written from Willow's perspective. And then there would be one focused on like how Darius joined the group and his kind of experiences, and it would be told from his perspective. And then there would be one from Rodin, and then there would be one from Mira, and then the one written from Verity's point of view would take place like after they started adventuring, and it would like be the story of the night that she died, essentially. And then from there, who knows? Because yeah, like that last one is the one that I have worked out in my head the most. That's the one that's most like fleshed out in my brain. And so like that one could honestly stand on its own if I just did the one narrated by Verity. But I think having the other ones as well would be, would also be fun. Small series of short graphic novels. Again, these would not be graphic novels. These are, say it with me, chat. These are not graphic novels. Because I don't have time for that. These would be illustrated prose novels, short stories that I write and then do a handful of illustrations for. These would not be graphic novels. As much as I would love that, I'm not making these as comics. That would take too much time. I would love to do some comics, like short comics inspired by them, but I don't think this project would be entirely a comic. It takes too much damn time. These are not graphic novels. Okay, good. Do you know how long they would be? They would be short stories, so a couple thousand words each. Boy. Because, like, guys, I love graphic novels. I love graphic novels so much. I love comics. I love web comics. I love comics. I don't have time to make 2 of them. And I'm not stopping CASTOFF. These would probably be light novels, which is just like written text. Because one is like, I want to get into doing prose novels as well. I would love to do that because that seems like it would be so much faster. That seems like it would be so much faster than drawing a whole comic. I might eventually adapt them into a comic, but that's not the end goal. The end goal is to make a book. Maybe just, you know, like, write that series of short stories and then print a few copies, but probably just, like, you know, post them on Patreon or whatever. Or even unveil, I don't know. I really like my characters and I want to use them in stuff. I want to, like, make a fun story with them. I want to do something with them, but it's hard adapting a D&D campaign because it's a collaborative thing. And it's like, how much do I rewrite? How much do I focus? Because, like, you know, in D&D, like, you're all the main character, right? And that would be hard to juggle in, like, a written story. And so there's part of me that's thinking, like, if I do decide to do, like, current story, Verity story, as a novel instead, I might, like, change a few things and, like, change out a few characters and some stuff. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm already thinking of, like, a couple things that would maybe just, like, make the story flow a little easier. Some, like, foreshadowing that I can add with, like, different events that didn't take place in the campaign. I just, you know, because, like, I've read comics that were based on D&D campaigns. And, like, from the... Okay, so, like, the one I'm specifically talking about is, oh gosh, what's the name? Tales of Alderwood. Tales from Alderwood. I read that one recently, and I love that comic. Everybody should go read that one. If you like CASTOFF, you'd like that one. And I really enjoy that story, but from what I understand, the character in that comic, like the main character, was, I think, the writer's D&D character? I need to go back and check my facts on that. But I don't think that comic was adapted one-to-one from the D&D campaign because it's not a story about a campaign. It's a story about just the one character doing her thing. And so I'm kind of curious what the adaptation process for that was like. But yeah, it's just like, because I don't want people to read it and be like, oh, this was very obviously based on a D&D campaign. Like, you know, I want it to feel like a fun fantasy romp with a lot of emotions and feelings. Because that's what I specialize in, apparently. But it's like, I don't want people to look at it and be like, ugh, this is just a D&D, this is just an adaptation of a D&D campaign, this is gonna be boring. And have that be like a turn off of the story. And I'm like, no. I just really like these characters no matter what format they take, you know? But, like, part of me is... I'll admit that, like, part of it is just nerves of being, like... If I did, you know, stick closer to how it originally happened, I would worry about doing justice for everyone else's characters. And it's just, like, how much screen time do the other characters get? How much do we focus on their stories? Would they be upset if I didn't represent their character correctly? Would that mean that I'd have to be, like, conferring with other people constantly to make sure that the character portrayal is accurate? And it's like, would that be a pain? Would that, like, take away some of, you know, my artistic liberties as the person writing it? And it's just, it's mentally hard. And so I'm like, okay, well, so what if I just took Verity and I just picked her and her backstory and all of her stuff up and I plopped it into a different story? Well, if I did that, then would my friends be sad that they're not included and their characters aren't in it? And I'm just like, ah! So that's my main struggle right now. That's my main struggle right now is like how exactly I want to do, like, what exactly approach I want to take, I suppose. It's book shuffle time. Yippee! take the empty box and put it over here, and we sit back down. Where's my water? I have a water. I made myself a water before this. Blech. I've been talking a lot. Alrighty. Let's get into it. And yeah, so on that note, I know that the obvious answer is to just ask them, right? But also it's like, if I haven't really started, I'm still just, you know, like kind of brain thinking about this kind of stuff. It's all very much like loosely nebulous in my brain. This isn't gonna be something I start working on for at least until my break. And even then I'm probably gonna start with the little short story stuff. So I don't know. Misty Phantom, thank you for joining the memberships. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Good. Oh yeah, so speaking of, if folks have a membership now, you guys can watch my next video right now because it's uploaded early for channel members and patrons. You can watch my next character creation video. That's what it is. You should do Verity's story and you could reference their characters at the end and just have them in for that little bit at the end, perhaps as a possible segue into the actual campaign. Cameos, I think, would be a good way to do it. That's not a bad idea. Just like maybe bumping into the characters, giving them like little cameos, but still, but like not dragging like the full party around for the entire story, maybe. That's an idea. I say drag, and that makes it sound way worse than I was intending. But, like, you know, writing a whole story focus on that big of a cast would be a lot of work. And balancing it all would be difficult. Seen the video, great stuff. Yay! I'm glad that the folks who have watched it seem to enjoy it. It's good for my ego. I've written a story that includes friends' characters. It's stressful worrying you're doing them justice. Yeah, that's kind of my main thing. I just like, my thing is, I am constantly worried. This is Star being like, I don't think I have anxiety really. And then I'm about to tell you guys one of just like a story about me having some kind of anxiety probably. I am, and it's not actually this bad, but it kind of is. I am like constantly worried that people are mad at me. Not like, it doesn't, you know, like permeate my every thought or anything. But there's definitely part of me that is concerned that the stuff I do and the things I say have negatively impacted people and they're just too shy to say it. Is like, oh, they don't, is like, they're not gonna say anything because they don't want to make me upset, but I've definitely said things that my friends did not like, and they actually don't like me that much, and they're just humoring me and hanging out. And I kind of have that a little bit a lot of the time. And like, okay, this is gonna sound stupid. This is gonna sound really stupid, but I need you guys to just like roll with me here for a few minutes. One of the reasons, so I had wanted to do webcomic promos as a thing on my channel for a long time. I had been thinking about doing this like ever since my channel kind of quote unquote blew up. I was like, I have this platform and I should use it to promote other webcomics folks. That would be really cool. And that would help, you know, get some eyes on some other webcomic creators, help like broaden people's horizons a little bit, get some new stories to check out, and it would benefit the other. It would be like nothing but a benefit to the people who make the comics that I would be promoting, right? It took me 6 months to a year to actually start doing the webcomic promos because I was so scared that I was going to somehow offend people by promoting their webcomics. And I know how silly that sounds when I say it like that. I know how silly it sounds. I know. I agree with you that it is silly. However, it is still a very real feeling that I was very concerned about for a very long time. All publicity is good though. Okay, but have you considered that what if I write the bad promo? What if I write a promo for another webcomic and I get shit wrong, and then when I promote their comic, it makes the creator of that comic hate me actually? What if I do a bad job at promoting someone else's comic and then they hate me because of it? Have you considered that? I'm laughing because it's painful. This is legitimately the thing. They, like, kept me from doing comic promos for a really long time. I thought you were doing it with their permission. Most of the people I've promoted, I told about it in advance of the video coming out, but I generally don't ask permission to do it because I'm awkward. And so, like, my thing is like, okay, which is less anxiety inducing? Drawing attention to yourself by asking permission to do a comic promo and therefore having to reach out to a bunch of people that you've never spoken to before, and then them expecting a good job and then being stressed about it, or just doing it and then maybe they never even see it. Maybe they never even find out about it. It's just me yelling. And maybe they never even find out about it, and that would be fine. I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm doing it so that people will find comics to read. But what if the catchphrase of anxiety? Yeah. And it's just like, I acknowledge that it is silly. I would be so freaking stoked if, like, a big YouTuber did a promotion for my webcomic. That would be so freaking cool. And I keep having to tell myself that every single time I do one of these promos. Literally, like, every time I do one of these promos, I don't mean to make it sound like it's miserable work. I do enjoy doing it. It's just, I have to fight back the anxiety demons with every single webcomic promo that I post, because I'm just like, what if I do a bad job and then the artist of this comic hates me actually? Because, like, what if I get something wrong? What if I mispronounce a character's name? And what if I just, like, do a bad job at representing the comic? And what if I don't do a good job of summarizing it? And what if I, like, you know, post it in a video that doesn't get a whole lot of views, and then it's just kind of a waste of everyone's time and no one goes to read the comic, and then that's my fault, actually, because I did a bad job? And... This is suffering. This is pain for me. I've largely learned to manage it. And by learned to manage it, I mean the promo for my upcoming video is one that The artist of the comic does not know that I am doing it. I have not reached out to them in advance. I can go ahead and say it. It's not like it's spoilers or something. But because I thought it was fitting that since, you know, it was a popularity poll for what type of character I design, and the ancestry that won the poll was a fawn, like a half deer character. And I'm like, okay, so clearly the people who watch my videos are very interested in like half animal characters and specifically half deer characters. I'm just gonna fucking recommend a comic that's all about like half deer people. And so Icy Copper is the next comic on. That one's the one that's gonna get the promo for the December video. I've already written it, it's already posted. But like, you know, I didn't reach out to the artist in advance. I know that they have at least at one point read my comic. Because they did, well, maybe, probably, they did a sketch of Frankie for Art Fight a few years ago. You stress over sponsorships like that too? Nah. Honestly, no, because sponsors are generally pretty clear about what they want, and then they give me money. And it's like, you know, a sponsorship is like an agreement. They're like, hey, this is our thing. We want you to talk about it. Here's like some features we would like you to mention in the video. And here's like the footage we would like you to use in combination with your own footage. And, you know, I have to send it to my sponsor for approval before I post a video. And then they pay me money, so... So sponsorships are way less stressful. The charity work that I do for free, like the free marketing work I do, stresses me out infinitely more. Blah. But yeah, and so I just kind of have like that little bit of anxiety. Again, I don't think I have like clinical, medically an issue anxiety or anything. I'm like a baby deer. I get skittish in interactions with people. Like, when I was doing the promotion for Soul to Call, another very good webcomic you guys should read, the artist of that comic has made like an animated version of the comic's prologue. And I wanted to know if I could use that in the promotion that I made, because I thought that, you know, like having some motion to go along with it, like having the actual comic in motion would be very cool. It would be more eye-catching for my audience, and it would probably make it more interesting and make them more likely to click on the promo and go read the comic. And writing that Discord message to be like, hey, fellow webcomic artists that I have talked to quite a bit in the past, but we haven't talked to each other in like it's been like a few years since we had a one-on-one conversation. Can I use your video to promote your comic? It took me 3 days to send that message. Because I was so fucking nervous about it, and this is a person I have interacted with before. Like, I have no reason to believe that they've secretly started hating me in the time since I talked to them last. But I just like, there was part of me that was just like, oh my god, I haven't talked to them in a couple years. What if they've secretly started hating me during that time? And what if they will be deeply insulted by this message I send them? Which is such a stupid thing to worry about. It's completely nonsensical, but my brain is still just like, but you don't know though. That could be the case. And I'm just like, shut up, shut up. Shut up. It's some stupid shit. I'm in this picture and I don't like it. I'm in this picture. I'm starring in this picture and I hate it. And so like, that's why I haven't really been reaching out to like, because you know, some of the folks that I've done webcomic promotions for are people that I know, or that there are people that like I'm on friendly terms with. Like, the first comic I ever promoted was Goth Western, and that was done by a very close friend of mine. Like, Legally, the creator of Goth Western, is the one who edits my stream clips for me. We still talk on a regular basis because we're in, like, the same group chats from, like, all our college friends. We've known each other for, like, 12 years now. 14 years now, exactly, actually. And so I have, like, no problem reaching out to Legally and being like, hey, yo, I'm gonna yell about your comic. Is that cool? You want to see the script I wrote? I still think the Goth Western one is one of the best promos I've written. It was a hard act to follow, but part of that was because Legally made one of the main characters' last names Love, and so I got to make a pun about his like, but love's on her side in more ways than one, because it's a story about the power of love, but also one of the, like, the main love interest, her last name is Love, and it's like, that's a good pun and I like it. But yeah, and so like most of the comic promotions that I have done, I have told people about them in advance. But for the most part, I'm just like, I'm so shy about it. I usually just do it and just like, you know, pray that they like it and are cool. And are cool with what I wrote and what I made, and just I hope that they get some new viewers out of it and stuff. Cause like I don't know the creator of Sleepless Domain. We're mutuals on Blue Sky, but we've never spoken to each other. But I've followed her work for several years now. I found her work for the first time because I read one of her older comics, the one that she did about like teaching and living in Japan. And I read that and I was like, points at the screen, hey, I want to do that. I found that before I started doing it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of giving me an idea of what this might look like, except I didn't teach elementary school like she did. I taught high school, which ended up being very different, but still fun. Started being like, how do I quietly promote a person's work? Listen, I would gladly just yell about other people's webcomics in my videos and just push more people over to them so that more people will read more webcomics. I don't need recognition from the creators. I don't need to know if they ever saw it. Like, I have no idea if the Sleepless Domain artist ever saw the promo that I did, and I'm fine with that. I don't need the recognition. That's not why I'm doing it. I have comics that I like. I have comics that I think need more views and more attention. And I have this captive audience who watches my YouTube videos, and I'm just like, hey, push, push, push. My logic is like, if I can get at least a handful of new readers over to a webcomic, then my goal has been accomplished. I do not do it for recognition. I do it for the joy of supporting other webcomic creators. You know, that's why I do it. That's why I've always wanted to do it. That's always been the goal. Which is why I will probably continue to do it in silence. Because it's like, you know, it's like I'm so scared of like being perceived by like, you know, these artists that I look up to and whose work I like, and I'm just like, the idea of like, even, you know, it's like, hey, I'm like a decently sized YouTuber who like makes videos and stuff about like comics and things, and it's just like, I don't know, I made this thing, you know, just to like kind of see, not that you need my help, but like, you know, I thought it would be nice, and I like to promote other webcomics, and I did this thing. I'm just so awkward and I hate it. It's box shuffle. I'm such a mess. God! Okay, it's box opening time. Where's my box cutter? Yippee! Alright, one box open. Okay, two boxes open. Two so cool. These beans are like the coolest beans. You have no idea how cool they are. Box of books. And we push the box over, and then we move this box to the next box and just put them down. Okay. Okay. Where's my water? Okay, I think this is probably going to be the last box that we do for the night because it's getting late. All right. Well, there's some cardboard detritus on this one. All right. Cool. Where's my marker? But yeah, so TLDR, I'm gonna keep doing the webcomic promos, but just know that every single time I do one of these comic promos, I am spending at least 48 hours nervous as hell about it. I have to emotionally work myself up to write these promos. Because I get so nervous about it for no reason. For no good reason. Star being like, I don't have anxiety, and then Star spending 20 minutes talking about anxiety about just sending people a message to do something positive for them. Stupid. Start getting nervous about hyping people up. I mean, basically. Try to think about why you're doing it the next time you get nervous. I mean, I do think about that every single time. I mean, that's the whole goal, you know? Doesn't help much, unfortunately. Because there's still part of me that always thinks, what if I do a bad job at the promo, and then they turn around and it makes an artist that I look up to hate me? What if I just do a bad job and they don't like me actually? Or what if they already know who I am and they don't like my videos or whatever, and they're just like, I get kind of nervous about that kind of stuff too. Just in general, you know, sometimes you and your friends talk about YouTubers you like and YouTubers you don't like based on certain things. And then you finish that conversation and you think, oh God, there's people who have probably seen my videos and didn't like them and don't like me as a person because of it. And then you just start spiraling and thinking about that shit is what if there's people who read my comic and hated it? And what if there's people who watch my videos and hate the sound of my voice and get annoyed every time they see one of my thumbnails recommended to them? That's the kind of shit that keeps me up at night. Not too long. This is not the kind of stuff I dwell on all the time, but you think about it sometimes. You think about it sometimes and then it ruins an hour of your day. Is I am not immune to getting... I know there's people like that out there, though, is the thing. Because they do be leaving comments on my videos sometimes. Some of them are silly. And I'm just well, you're just being a hater. Blocked. You know, you do your best to ignore them, but sometimes they are persistent. And they just really want you to know how much they don't like you. And they will show up in your videos' comments. And you know, you delete them and you block them, but... they're still out there and telling their friends about how much your videos suck. Because you talked bad about Hazman Hotel that one time. I'm sure those people exist. They have no taste, but I'm sure they exist. Yeah. How could anyone hate CASTOFF, though? It's so amazing and lovely. I do appreciate that, but I mean, I acknowledge that it's not everyone's cup of tea, you know? CASTOFF is the best thing I've ever read, honestly. That is quite an honor. I am genuinely very happy that people like the story enough to consider it their favorite thing. And I acknowledge that I can be I can be a bit much sometimes. I know this about myself. I think more than anything, I get sad about the possibility that my stuff doesn't hit with certain people. But I mean, that's, you know, that's just part of making shit. You can never make something that's going to please everybody. And, you know, keeping that thought in the back of my head helps a lot. But then there's the people who really don't like it and make a point to tell you so, and those people are assholes. And they get blocked out of your YouTube comments, but you still have to read it to know to block them, and you're just like, oh, come on. Oh, come on. Come on. Man, I almost feel like I shouldn't bring this up. But it's the tail end of a 3-hour stream where I'm just signing books and yapping. I feel like anyone who's been here this long can handle it. I had a bit of an incident earlier this week. I didn't want to like post about it on social media or anything because I didn't want to Barbra Streisand it into being more of a thing than it was already. But so, you know, I made that short, talking very briefly about Lapis's backstory. Just because I made that short specifically, to, you know, advertise, hey, number one, I have a campaign right up now if folks want to learn more about this character. And number two is that, you know, I have her standees up. I have her standees up for pre-order on my shop, and so that was like advertisement for that. And so what happened is I've already deleted all the comments in question, but it was the first time on YouTube that I had mentioned any of Lapis's, like, I'm not quite sure what to call it now, because I've been told that split personality is kind of an outdated term, but honestly, it's a more accurate term than anything else. So, okay, basically what happened is I talked a little bit how Lapis has kind of like an alter ego thing going on, and a lot of people assumed that she had dissociative identity disorder, which she does not. I want to be very clear. She does not have that. That is not what her situation is. It has a few things in common, so I kind of understand why some people would look at that and be like, oh, it has a bill and webbed feet, that's a duck. And then I have to go, well, no, actually it's a platypus, but you're not ready for that conversation. But a lot of people jumped to the incorrect conclusion that Lapis has DID, and then got very upset that A, I used the term split personality in the video, and B, that I said that her alter ego was kind of like, you know, violent, because she is. Laz is kind of an asshole. My guess would be magical possession. Not that either. Lapis's whole thing is very complicated, and I can't really talk about it yet because it hasn't come up in the campaign. But the thing about Lapis and her story and like what the building blocks upon which it is built is based on some very personal stuff to me. I guess it's weird. Yeah, basically. It's a very complicated set of circumstances what she has going on. But it is not DID. She is not a system. She is not an alter. None of that stuff is the case. But I got a lot of people incorrectly assuming that was the case. And then leaving hate comments on my video basically saying that she was bad representation and I was a shitty person for writing her that way. And that sucked. Because, you know, you make a character that is like so personal to you that you put a lot of love into, and you put a lot of like your own personal demons and storytelling tropes that you enjoy. You put a lot of stuff that you love into this character that you made specifically for yourself and your group of friends that you're playing with. And then you post about that character on the internet. and people will wrongly assume things about that character and then berate you and be hideous in your comments because of their incorrect assumptions. And that shit sucked to deal with. And I was having to watch my comments like a hawk for a couple days there to kind of, because I got some very unkind comments. And it was like, it was not good. It was a shitty couple of days. That's what I was dealing with earlier this week. That video went up on Tuesday. And so basically like all day, Tuesday and Wednesday, I was like trying to watch my comments like a hawk and like watch for any hate comments. I had to block a few terms from my comments so I could like, you know, moderate them before they went up. I ended up making an, like, cause you know, my original pinned comment was one like promoting the stuff and like where to get them. And I ended up having to make a new pinned comment being like, hey, quit assuming that she has this like mental circumstance that she does not have, and then yelling at me for bad representation. Because that's really shitty, and I've gotten a lot of really mean comments about it, and you guys kind of suck, and this whole situation sucks. But just, I was telling some friends about it, and it was, basically what happened is, imagine that I have made a cake, and so it's just like me being like, I have made this beautiful cake. I made this cake with love for a lot of my friends. Like, this is a cake that I made for me and my friends to enjoy. I used a recipe that I've been really wanting to make for a long time, and I'm excited to finally get to like play around with some cool ingredients, and I got to make this, and I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm gonna share some like, you know, some pictures of the cake. I'll share like some of the process of how I made it. I'm not gonna share the recipe because but I've made this delicious cake. Here's a picture of the cake, internet. And then people on the internet go, this is a shit lasagna and you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm like, well, it's not a lasagna, first of all. I understand that they are both rectangular and that they are like, if I'm being very generous, they're both made in layers. But this is not a lasagna. This is a cake. I am being open with the fact that it is not a lasagna. And then the comments will be like, did you even read a recipe for lasagna before you made this? And I was like, I don't know why I would have needed to, considering that it is not a lasagna. It is a cake. And I just kept getting comments insulting my lasagna. And I'm like, I don't, get out of my bakery! I did not make a lasagna. If I had wanted to make a lasagna, if that was the goal, then yes, I would not have used frosting, and I would have, you know, like made a cake of things. And they're just like, where's the cheese? There's not even any cheese in this lasagna. And I'm like, it's a cake! And then you have to block the term lasagna from your comments. And it's just like, it's so frustrating. And it's just like, you worked really hard on the cake, and the cake is like really special to you. And it's like, you put a lot of personal feelings into the cake, and you're just, you know, like, you're not sharing the entire cake with the whole internet. Like, you're not putting the cake out there for everyone to eat. It's a cake specifically for you and your friends. And then people online just keep talking about how you made a shit lasagna. And I'm like, shut up! And why do you hate lasagna so much? I don't. It was just this first and silliest thing I came up with. I gotta draw this. I'm going to ask you to not, actually. I'm going to ask you to not, because I might even cut this part out of the stream. Because I don't want to Barbara Streisand this into having more attention on it. Because I'm already mad that it's so much, it's already like this much of a thing. I don't want to draw any more attention to this issue. I would prefer to let it pass quietly. Pass quietly through the night as a non-issue that just made me get some mean comments for a couple of days. I don't want this to be any more of a thing than it already is, so I would ask you guys not, like, draw more attention to it. It's just, it's so peak internet, right? And it's just frustrating because this is not the first time it has happened either. I've had this happen with some cast-off characters as well. But that arguably, that was frustrating when it happened. And it's still a little bit frustrating. But it's like, you know, you put characters out there for an audience. Not everyone is going to have the exact same views of your characters as you. And I can get that. I can understand that. You know, I'm putting out the series for an audience. Everyone's going to take away something slightly different from it. And it's fine. I'm mostly good with it. It's still frustrating sometimes when, like, some of the loudest voices are the ones that are very wrong. And the problem with webcomics, too, is that, like, they take so long to get out there. It's just like, we're gonna get there. I know that you want to see more of this thing, and we're going to get there, I promise. Just give me time. Give me a minute. Give me, like, a sec. And so, you know, it's like, because I know it's like, okay, they want this thing, and they want it really bad, and they're being really loud about it. And I can't fault them for that, because I've led them on with a lot of stuff about this character. I understand why they want this character to be developed more, and I'm going to get there. But some people are sometimes like, Star's never gonna develop this character, and we're never gonna get anything good for them, which means that this character is shallow and a bad character. And I'm like, go away. You know, those people are easy to brush off because it's like, okay, whatever. Whatever. But with my D&D character specifically, it's hard because, like, Lapis isn't even in, like, a live play or anything. The only way that other people get to engage with her story is through the campaign summaries that I write in the fan art, the art that I draw. And people will take those itty-bitty little breadcrumbs and they will start fires by incorrectly guessing what the breadcrumbs mean. And then they get mad at me for doing a bad job with a roleplay character that I play with pretend with my friends on the weekends. And it's just so peak internet, but that doesn't stop it from being hideously frustrating when it happens. Thankfully, I have not gotten any more shitty comments since I left that pinned comment on the video. But I'm still just kind of mad that it happened at all, you know? Shit sucks. Anyway, that's the last book for this box, which means I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. By the way, lapis standees are up in my store now if people want one. I'll go ahead and pop that link in there one more time. If y'all want a little lapis standee, she's not gonna come out till January, but I has. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night because I'm EB. But it's been good hanging. Oh, that screech was not good for my throat. One sec. I'm allergic to anime squealing. Ugh. But yes, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me. Again, CASTOFF books will be shipping out to Kickstarter backers by the end of the month. They will be on my store sometime in mid-January. They're not available yet, but they will be. And check the pinned comment up there if you want a link to join my newsletter, where I will send out notifications about the books as soon as they are uploaded. But I mean, also, I'm gonna be screaming about them in perpetuity, basically, on like YouTube videos and stuff. So it will be very hard to miss if you're watching my videos. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night and go grab some dinner. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. It has been a pleasure. Thanks for keeping me company, chat. Fairly well, friends. Goodbye!